The movie opens in a hauntingly tense atmosphere. Inside an old, dimly lit house, a desperate woman pleads with an unseen figure. Tearfully, she begs the person not to take her baby away, reminding them of a previous promise that she would be allowed to keep this child. Suddenly, a chilling echo of gunshots reverberate through the room, leaving us on the edge of our seats. Fast forward to 40 years, we meet a young, hopeful couple, Sarah and Alex Davis, along with their infant son, Liam. The family craves to escape the relentless hustle and bustle of the city life and is on a search to find a peaceful setting to call home. After a long search, their eyes fall upon a beautiful farmhouse nestled amidst the rolling hills of the countryside. Upon arriving at the seemingly perfect farmhouse, the couple face their first challenge, soothing their crying baby Liam. Despite this hiccup, Sarah and Alex are undeterred. They take time to explore the expansive property, wandering through the rooms of the large house and admiring the rustic charm of the adjacent barn. Feeling satisfied with their find, they prepare to finalize the purchase. Before putting pen to paper, however, Sarah poses an important question to the seller. She inquires why the property has been unoccupied for so many years. The seller hesitates for a moment before revealing the dark history of the house. Many years ago, a horrific event unfolded within its walls. A young woman, not unlike the one we saw at the beginning of the film, killed both her baby and her father. Alex prefers to remain blissfully ignorant of the gory details, but Sarah presses on. The seller reluctantly hands them a detailed report, cautioning that many previous potential buyers have backed out after learning about the truth. Unfazed, Sarah asserts that she doesn't mind if the house has a haunted past, and for them, the farmhouse represents a new beginning. A few days later, the Davis family has officially moved into their new home. Alex busies himself hanging family photos on the walls and creating a sense of belonging. Meanwhile, Sarah stumbles upon a mysterious locked room. Intrigued, she asks Alex to unlock it, and with a set of tools at hand, Alex successfully opens the door to reveal an unexpectedly beautiful room. Just as they begin to let their guard down, a man named Chris suddenly appears, startling them both. Introducing himself as the next door neighbor, Alex assures them that he merely wishes to offer to help them and extend a friendly welcome. One evening, Alex lovingly cuddles their infant son Liam, lulling him to sleep with a gentle song. Sarah, on the other hand, can't seem to find rest. Her eyes are drawn to a hidden door, concealed behind a piece of furniture. Her curiosity intensifies when she finds Liam also awake, and she decides to read the report that she had earlier received from the seller. And according to the document, a woman named Anna had lived in that house 4 decades ago with her father Robert and her baby, but tragically, Anna murdered them both before ultimately taking her own life. The next morning, Alex heads off to his new job as a vet, leaving Sarah alone to navigate the complexities of motherhood in their very unsettling new home. Sarah spends the day trying to arrange Liam's room, puzzled by the fact that its windows are inexplicably nailed shut. As night falls, she attempts to breastfeed Liam, but she catches a fleeting glimpse of a mysterious woman in reflection. The sight terrifies her, sending shivers down her spine. Soon after, Alex returns home, and the couple briefly exchange updates about their day. And the following morning unfolds with a very eerie twist. Sarah can hear Liam crying, but initially can't find him in his crib. Yet, when she looks away for just a moment and turns back, there he is, almost as if he'd been playing a game of hide-and-seek on his own. At breakfast, Sarah asks Alex to invite their neighbor Chris over to help with some household repairs. But the house itself starts to intrude more and more into Sarah's thoughts. She begins to experience a series of unnerving occurrences, and haunting laughter and the chatter of the children come from behind the door that's obstructed by a large heavy wardrobe. When Sarah musters the courage to investigate, she spots a large fly crawling beneath the piece of furniture. And finally, Chris arrives to address the list of repairs. Sensing an opportunity to delve deeper into the house history, Sarah asks for some info. She recounts her terrifying experience from the previous night and demands the real story behind the house. Chris, looking visibly disturbed, offers only a cryptic reply before hastily exiting, and he tells her that she bears a striking resemblance to Anna, the tragic woman who once lived there. I mean, why would you tell her that if not to creep her out? Come on. Anyways, as the suspense reaches its fever pitch, Sarah discovers a mysterious dress inside the house one night, and just then, she hears a strange noise coming from Liam's room. Hurriedly, she goes to check on him and decides to bring him back to her own bedroom. But as she settles down, she hears the unmistakable sound of a girl crying from Liam's room. When she goes back to investigate, she finds the room empty, and just as she sits down on her bed, a shadowy figure of a man starts walking toward her. But before he reaches her, a hand shoots out from under the bed, grabbing her ankle. She screams in terror, finding no one there, but sees clear finger marks on her leg. Later in bed, Sarah opens up to Alex, confessing that she feels disconnected from Liam, as if he's almost a stranger. Sarah's struggles are intensified by her battle with postpartum depression, which is a driving wedge between her and her family. The following morning, Sarah is greeted by a foul smell that leads her to discover a stash of dirty diapers hidden under the sofa. Chris, the mysterious neighbor, arrives and insists on sharing some unsettling truths. He reveals that Anna, the girl from the house's tragic past, had a brother who lived in the shadows, who was overlooked and blamed for the death of their mother. Chris also reveals that Anna's father, Robert, was abusive toward her, and Sarah then shares her own eerie experiences, saying that she has seen both Anna and Robert inside the house. Chris, skeptical of such supernatural claims, just decides to leave abruptly. Undeterred, Sarah seeks out the person who sold them the house, and she learns of a very shocking revelation. Anna's brother never actually died. In fact, he lived in the house until Sarah and Alex bought it, and this brother I am referring to is none other than Chris himself. Back at home, the unsettling occurrences multiply. Sarah's music box starts to play on its own in Liam's presence. Then, Liam's favorite pacifier, his toy truck, and even Sarah and Alex's wedding portrait inexplicably disappear. Sarah searches the house but to no avail, and that night, more horror unfolds. Sarah finds her music box shattered and all the milk bottles have turned rotten. Then, in a chilling vision, she sees Anna lying on a bed with Robert looming over her. Both figures turn their gaze towards Sarah as if acknowledging her presence. Alarmed, Sarah carefully places Liam on the floor and goes to investigate the eerie scene. The unsettling events continue to mount, leaving Sarah increasingly desperate for answers and safety for her family as the house's dark past threatens to consume their present. The next morning, tensions rise between Sarah and Alex. Frustrated and unable to find another explanation for the bizarre occurrences, Sarah accuses Alex of breaking her cherished music box and causing the other strange happenings around the house. Alex avoids escalating the argument and instead tells her that he's called in a psychiatrist, Dr. Carver, to come and help. He also makes it clear that he doesn't feel comfortable leaving her alone with Liam at the moment. Sarah tries to tell Alex that she senses an unsettling presence inside the house, but he dismisses her fears as irrational. In his view, objects don't just mysteriously disappear or break, and he believes that Sarah must be misplacing items and simply forgetting about them due to her emotional state. Shortly thereafter, Dr. Carver arrives for his consultation with Sarah. Alex hands Liam over to her and leaves for work, and Dr. Carver dives into the heart of the issue, asking Sarah why she stopped taking her antidepressant medications. Sarah explains that she felt the medication would act as a barrier, preventing her from forming a meaningful emotional bond with Liam, especially since she had to give up breastfeeding. And when Dr. Carver asks if she's been experiencing auditory or visual hallucinations, she decides to withhold the truth and tells him that she hasn't. He suggests going back on the medication, but Sarah resists and she confesses to feeling a deep emptiness inside of the joy commonly associated with motherhood. Sarah becomes defensive when Dr. Carver suggests her emotions might not be real compared to her psychosis. She asks him to leave, but he informs her that he can't just walk away given her mental state. However, just then, Chris unexpectedly arrives and assures Dr. Carver that he can take over from there. Dr. Carver agrees to go, but not before leaving a bottle of pills on the table in case Sarah changes her mind about medication. While Alex was at work, Chris keeps Sarah company, engaging in some lighthearted play with baby Liam. But the atmosphere grows more serious when Sarah confronts Chris about him not disclosing that he was actually Anna's brother. He admits that he wanted to keep his painful past a secret while still remaining close to the house that held so many memories for him. As they share this emotionally charged moment, Sarah inquires about whether there were other babies inside the house besides the one that Anna killed. Chris drops another bombshell and says that there were actually 3 more babies. And instantly, Sarah connects the dots, and the mysterious cries she's been hearing from behind the wardrobe belong to the lost souls of those children. Chris then hands Liam back to Sarah and warns her to steer clear of the wardrobe. He then tells her that it was deliberately placed in front of that particular door for a reason, hinting that only his abusive father Robert was the only one ever meant to move it. When Alex comes home, he, Sarah, and Liam try to create a sense of family normalcy, enjoying a bath together. But just then, Alex's phone rings, and he had to step away, leaving Sarah alone with Liam. The moment he leaves, he hears heavy doorsteps marching down the hallway, and without warning, the menacing figure of Robert appears, submerging her head underwater. Gasping for air, she resurfaces to find that Robert has vanished, but not without leaving a terrifying crying Liam in his wake. Panicked, Sarah stands guard over Liam's crib, and she soon sees Robert coming her way again and braces herself against the door in a desperate attempt to keep him out. As she struggles to hold the door shut, she hears Anna's piercing scream, and Robert suddenly retreats. Thinking she hears Alex's voice calling her name, Sarah momentarily leaves Liam upstairs and heads down, expecting to find her husband. But then, she hears Liam's cry, pierced by the sound of footsteps rushing upstairs. Sarah rushes back to the upper level to discover that the long-locked room behind the wardrobe is now open. Inside, she finds all their missing belongings, and more disturbingly, two dusty boys emerge from the shadows of the room, one of them holding Liam in his arms. Frantic, Sarah pleads with them to return her baby, but instead, they accuse her of being a harmful mother. One of the boys raises an axe, and as he swings it down, Sarah's scream fills the room, and the screen fades to black. The next morning is a stark contrast to the nightmarish events that preceded it, and Sarah is somehow healed from her depression, and she is lovingly holding Liam, repeatedly whispering that he's hers. Alex arrives home to find a picture-perfect scene, his family seated at the breakfast table, and the food freshly prepared. As he takes his seat, Sarah assures him that their nightmare is finally over, and she tears up the disturbing reports that haunted them, symbolizing the end of the harrowing chapter in their lives. As time passes, the family finds the happiness Sarah had so desperately craved for. Liam, once a constant crier, changes into a joyful child. Chris, now fully integrated into their family life, is even seen teaching Liam how to play baseball. And in the final scenes, Alex, Sarah, and the much happier Liam are seen enjoying a peaceful moment on a swing, their arms lovingly wrapped around each other. As Sarah cradles her pregnant belly with her free arm, her face shifts to a look of subtle distress, leaving us to wonder what lies ahead of this seemingly reunited family. If you want to watch more creepy horror movie recaps, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. We'll see you next time. Bye.